We're all fair.
Not yet.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Birds of the Round Table. We are here another Tuesday night, and we are going to be talking a little interior defensive line rankings. And then, of course, we'll be talking about some training camp news and notes. Joining me, as always, David at PHL Eagle News. David, what is going on, buddy?
Tired, man. As you know, I had a miserable ride home from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I got home in 6 hours. That should take 3 hours and 25 minutes. So yeah, it was brutal traffic.
Yeah.
On the I-95.
Yeah, not fun, believe me.
No.
Also joining us, Shane at Shane Half NFL. What's going on, Shane?
What's up, man? It's good to be back. I was gone all last week. I was a sponsor at my church's youth camp, so didn't get a lot of sleep. I think I'm sick now, and it's probably from living in a dorm for a week. I'm too old for that, but we had a great time, and it's back into football, and we're headed into the preseason now, and I'm really excited just to have actual football to watch again.
Yeah, it is. It is something. This, we were saying earlier, as David and I actually finally got to meet today at training camp. We'll talk about that later. But man, this off season flew by, and obviously that happens when you're playing so late into the season. But it is great to have football back. But before we get on to all of that, let's roll into our interior defensive line rankings. Dives, who, let's be honest, kind of quit on us, is under the weather tonight. So he would be normally hosting, as he doesn't like to rank anymore. But we'll take it over, and we'll do that for tonight. So without further ado, let's give our top 16 interior defensive line rankings. Why don't we start with you, Shane, and your number 16?
Yeah, my number 16 is a little bit weird because he has recently become a free agent, but it's Christian Wilkins. And there's some weird stuff going on with his release from the Jets, the Raiders, and he's still showing as the Raiders here because I didn't really know what color code to use for a free agent. I guess I could have used the NFL Shield colors, but an injury cut short his 2024 season, and apparently the Raiders were unhappy with how he approached recovery, and there might be some locker room things going on there as well feeding into that. But Wilkins has been a solid player, so I put him in at the back end of this list, and we'll see what he does in 2025. But overall, he's a solid player that I don't really know what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's well said. David, anything to add?
Yeah, same. He'd probably be higher on the list if he was on a team. I mean, when he's healthy, he brings juice, swagger, effort on every snap. He's loud, nasty, productive, everything you like from a defensive tackle. Overall, good player.
Yeah, it's just very, very odd circumstances that I feel like we just don't truly know the full story, and maybe we never will. But all right, let's roll right into my number 16. And that is Zach Allen of the Denver Broncos. This is a guy that kind of, obviously when you're back end of these lists, you kind of, wonder, what to kind of, who's going to go where. But yeah, I felt like he, really has started kind of coming along. He's only 27 years old in that range, I believe, 27, right?
Yeah.
Came out of Boston College and kind of had a slow start to his kind of career, but had 8.5 sacks last year. Really was a solid defender for the Denver Broncos, and Again, I know it's different times, but 8.5 sacks for an interior defensive lineman is always an impressive thing, in my opinion. I just think he's a player on the rise, honestly. Shane, you had him all the way up at number 12.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. He turns 28 later this month, and so he's not super young, but over the last 2 seasons, he has played a ton of snaps. Last season, he led the league in snaps for interior defensive lineman. A year ago, he was third behind Deron Payne and Derek Brown. And so, he can give you a lot of snaps. He's inconsistent against double teams, but he's a good interior pass rusher. He was third in pass rush win rate last season. And like I said, if you factor in postseason, like whole season, he played more snaps than any defensive tackle except Jalen Carter, who had 3 extra games to get there. So reliable, wins against the pass, and he's not a guy you want to 2-gap, but he can stand up occasionally to double teams. So I think he's a really solid player.
Gotcha. And David, just numbers crunch, why you didn't make your list?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I probably should have put him at 16 and kicked Wilkins off the list since he doesn't have a team. But yeah, he was right there with Wilkins. I probably just should have gone with him.
Gotcha. All right, let's stay with David here. His number 15. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm obviously banking on projection here. I went with Jordan Davis. He hasn't just been clogging lanes. He's collapsing the entire middle of the field. His presence distorts blocking schemes. If the pass rush moves ever match the athleticism, I think, you have a potential Pro Bowl player. So I'm pretty excited to see what he does this season. He definitely, I know this is a worn out comment, but he is definitely in the best shape of his career.
And down 26 pounds, he better be. So, again, I think for me, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like, he doesn't play enough snaps to be as impactful as some of these other guys. But yeah, you're right. He is insanely impactful in the run game, which is certainly why I'm a big Jordan Davis fan. So that's for sure. Any comment, Shane?
Yeah, when you look at defensive tackles, there's so much that goes into it. Like, he's one of the better run stuffers in the league, but how do you want to weight that in when you're looking at top 16 players? For me, I want more of an impact in the passing game than he provides. And maybe he shows that this year, but I think he's a good run defender. I think he is unfairly criticized by some Eagles fans. I also think there's some Eagles fans that are a bit delusional. I was scrolling Reddit the other day, and there was a debate going on about, like, if you could redo that draft, would you rather have Jordan Davis or Kyle Hamilton? And like the majority of the people were saying Jordan Davis. And I was like, I mean, it's Kyle Hamilton and it's not even close. Right. And I say that as a guy that thinks Jordan Davis is underrated. So it's hard to have a realistic conversation about Davis because of the comparisons to Hamilton or just the bias towards your towards your team, which I certainly understand. But Jordan Davis is a top level run defender, and you would like for him to be on the field more in passing situations, and we'll see if that happens this year. If it does, he'll probably be on this list next year for me.
Oh, there you go. Well, DJ chiming in it says, is it 26 pounds of fat or 26 pounds of water weight?
That's a lot of water.
I'm just looking at him.
That's like 3.5 gallons of water.
Yeah, right. He definitely looks pretty cut. I'm not gonna lie. That's for sure. But all right, Shane, we'll stick with you. Your number 15. Who do you got?
It's Kobe Turner. Kobe Turner's a player on the rise. His second year with the Rams was pretty consistent with his first. And you look at his first 2 years combined, he's got 17 total sacks. He improved as a run defender in year 2. I think he's a good player. The Rams have a lot of young players that are stepping into roles for them, and they sort of had to do that post Aaron Donald retirement and losing Cooper Kupp, and a lot of the older guys have fallen off of this roster. And Kobe Turner is one of those guys that is one of those younger faces that's up and coming, I think, in the league.
Yeah, for sure. David?
Yeah, he's very energetic, really good at gap shooting, pressuring the quarterback. He's got a natural feel for timing and leverage, nonstop motor. I mean, I think the Rams found a really good disruptor. His arrow is definitely up.
Yeah, big time. That's for sure. Shane will. Hey, Shane's back. I just noticed. Shane, we'll stick with you. Your number 14.
Yeah, I like that my 14 is your 13s and my 13 is your 12s. So I did not do that on purpose, but it's Milton Williams. I mean, Eagles fans know Milton Williams. He was 6th in pass rush win rate last year. Insanely productive year. He's not as good against the run as he is against the pass, but I think that's a little overstated if you look at like the PFF rankings and stuff. I think they dock him far too much on run defense. I don't understand how they calculate grades anyways. But we'll see how he does this year in a new environment without Jalen Carter to draw favorable matchups for him. But I'm a believer in Milton Williams. I think he's going to go have a good year for the Patriots.
Yeah, for sure. He, again, I think he finally got his chance to really shine and show what he could do over the last, little bit over a year. And he got his money, and rightfully so. I think he'll honestly change that Pats defense into something that they could build around. So, David, your thoughts?
Yeah, his get off is above average, heavy hands, wins a lot of reps that most fans don't even notice. He's not a name brand, household, kind of guy yet, but he's a problem. And I know a lot of fans, like Shane touched on, kind of think that he was just a product of playing next to Jalen Carter, but I do not believe that. I think he's a very good player, and the Patriots will probably have a really good run with him.
All right. Shane, we're just going to stick with you until you're not the lowest one. So you're number 13 again.
Yeah, my number 13. Your guys' number 12 is Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver was 11th in pass rush win rate last year while being 9th in run stop win rate. Now, I don't think he's as good of a run defender as that metric indicates, which isn't surprising given his size. If you remember when he was coming out, he was just supposed to be an undersized, ultra athletic penetrator on the interior, but he's at least functional in the run game. I mean, you can't be that high in a run stop win rate metric and not at least be functional. And so when you put both of those things together, I think he's a great player on the interior for Buffalo. So I gave him my number 13 spot.
All right. And David, number 12 for him.
Yeah, it seemed to all come together for him in 2023, and he kind of, extended that in 2024. I think maybe his sacks were a little lower, but he became the interior menace that Buffalo drafted him to be. He's agile, disruptive, always buzzing around the ball. He could improve, against the run some, but really good player. I mean, anybody at this point up is a really impressive defensive tackle at this stage.
Yeah, great. All right, David, we'll stick with you finally. Number 11. Who do you got at number 11?
Is it Vita? Is that who I have?
Yeah. I was going to say, do we need to?
I love how David doesn't know his rankings. Yet we discussed before the show that he records these on his phone and his laptop is sitting in front of him, but he doesn't have his rankings in the laptop. I love it.
I do not. Yeah. When he is healthy, he's a walking traffic jam. I mean, he controls the line of scrimmage with sheer mass and torque. He doesn't always rack up the sacks, but he erases inside runs, turns double teams into stalemates. He's just an old school brawler who still fits in today's game. I love his style of play.
Yeah, Shane?
Yeah, Vita Vea is kind of what Jordan Davis is, but a little better pass rusher. He had a career high 7 sacks last year, in addition to his usual shutdown of the running game. And so he's not going to be a high sack player, but he is a player that you can leave on the field more than Davis, at least thus far in his career. I think this is what you want Jordan Davis to become, honestly. But I think Vita Vea is awesome.
Yeah, no, he's just a big dude, and you're right. That would be great if that's what Jordan Davis was kind of projected to be. So, all right. Moving right along, I guess we'll go with my number 11. Oh boy. I always have a little trouble with the last name here.
Metabuke.
Nnamdi Metabuke. All right, thank you. I was definitely gonna overthink that one. But yeah, this guy kind of honestly, has really come along the last couple of years. He's 27 years old. It's not a guy that is going to get a crazy high amount of sack numbers, but 6.5 sacks last year, 43 total tackles. He was just so solid. Pass rush, run stuffer. It's kind of a guy who could do it all on that line for the Ravens. David, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the breakout was real. He surged into the elite tier with 13 sacks in 2023, brings consistent pressure from the inside, quick off the ball, physical through the contact. He fits Baltimore's aggressive defensive style perfectly, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of him.
And Shane.
Yeah, he had a dip in performance last year, but there was a DC change. They lose Mike McDonald, and who maybe got him some better matchups schemed up along the way. The secondary also struggled early in the years. They tried to move Kyle Hamilton into the slot, and it didn't work, and then they moved him back, and all of that probably fed into it. But I think Matabuke is really good. I expect him to be better this year than he was last year.
All right, David, we'll go back to you. You're number 10.
I know who this is. Hey. Buckner.
Hey.
He's like the prototype, 6'7". His length is a cheat code. His pass rushing chops are pretty sharp. He's really steady year in, year out. He delivers top 10 defensive tackle play, a true pro kind of guy. He's been in the league, 9 years now? I mean, he's just completely consistent, rarely misses time until last year, but really good overall player.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane, your thoughts?
Yeah, he was second in pass rush win rate last year, fourth in run stop win rate. So he's the only guy that was top 5 on both. Now, he did miss 5 games last year, but that's kind of a blip on the radar. He's been remarkably consistent throughout his whole career in Indianapolis. And, unfortunately, the Colts haven't been particularly good, and they haven't even had great defenses. So I feel like he's kind of flies under the radar, but I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, he absolutely does. I feel like probably doesn't maybe get the level of respect that he's needed, but he's just a menace out there, honestly. All right, Shane, we'll head back to you with your number 9.
Before I answer that, we got a comment here from Brett Eclipse saying Milton Williams lands around 13 on these lists, but you'd think he was top 5 the way the Pats are paying him. I mean, that's kind of the luxury of having a quarterback on a rookie deal, and when your roster is that bad, you just have a lot of room to go pay guys. So it's what happens. Good for Milton Williams, it worked out. I don't think he'll live up to what they paid him, but I also don't think he has to, because they're not in any sort of a cap purgatory right now. But
yeah.
Anyways, on to my number 9. I have at number 9 Derek Brown. I think you guys both have him at 8, just continuing the trend of me being one spot lower on everybody than you. But Derek Brown's, he's an elite run stopper, and he's got some pass rush chops too. I think he's a better pass rusher than Vita Vea. Maybe not as good of a run stopper, but still really good at it. So just a well-rounded force on the interior.
Yeah. David, your thoughts on Derek Brown?
Yeah, he nailed him. Mainly a run plugger, kind of, in my opinion, but he controls the interior, forces coordinators to circle his number when, they're game planning. You always have to account for him, a really steady player over the past, 5 years, I guess, with Carolina.
Yeah, jeez. Doesn't seem like he's been around that long, but yeah, apparently
time flies.
Yeah, it sure does. So. All right, moving on to my number 9, and that would be Jeffrey Simmons, the Tennessee Titans. Had maybe a little bit of a down year or two comparatively to his 2021-22 seasons, where he had 8.5 and 7.5 sacks, 5.5 and 5 sacks for the last 2 seasons. Simmons has always been a solid player since he's been in Tennessee, and again, whether it be run stuffing, getting to the quarterback, He's the clear leader on that line, and now unfortunately with Tennessee, the way that their team is, he's really the only solid defender that they have right now. But I've always been a big fan of him. You guys are obviously a lot higher on him than I am. So, David, you're number 5 on him.
Yeah, there's nothing finesse about Simmons. He just plays like he's angry with you. Hand strength, leverage, controlled violence. He's definitely the alpha in the Titans front now. I'm a big fan. Again, I don't think we said this on the show, but Shane has most of the stats, so we're just going to let him roll with all of that. So have at it.
All right. Yeah, I love Jeffrey Simmons. I remember when there were so many reports linking him to Philly in 2019. And then the Titans got him at 19 and the Eagles took Andre Dillard, which, if imagine that they had gone up and got Jeffrey Simmons in that draft and had him next to Jalen Carter, that'd be insane. But 10th in pass rush win rate, 8th in run stop win rate. He's dominant versus the run, but he's still a really good pass rusher. And he just simply doesn't have a lot of help, and he plays for an awful team. And, that's probably going to be the curse of his career, but he's definitely a top 5 guy in my opinion.
All right. Moving on to, let's stay with Shane here. Your number 7, Cam Hayward.
Yeah, Cam Hayward. Man, I remember back when I started playing competitive Madden, and Cam Hayward was this superstar guy you wanted on your franchise. And now he's just still in the league at what is he, 37 now? He's done it for so long. And he continues to play at such a high level. He had 8 sacks last season and 8 batted passes. He's really good as a run defender. He's really good as a pass rusher. I don't know how much longer he can keep it up, but man, he's just impressive. I love when a guy is in the league, plays at such a high level for so long with the same team. I always just like seeing those stories.
Yeah, that's for sure. David, your thoughts on Cam Hayward?
Yeah, he's definitely the elder statesman on this list, but he's still a brick wall with the bull rush. His hands are surgical, relentless motor, leadership skills. And even as the years pile up, he just continues to punish guards with just grown man strength. And like Shane mentioned, he had 8 sacks again last season. It's just, you can just write down the stats before the season plays out. He's just that effective year in and year out.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, David, we'll stick with you and your number 6.
Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
Criminally overlooked player, in my opinion. He's all effort, versatility, interior juice. He's not the flashiest, but the production's always steady. He's a war horse. He's aging into the second act of his career very well, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Shane, your thoughts on Leonard Williams?
Yeah, 4th in pass rush win rate last year. He's coming off of a career high in QB hits and tackles for loss. Just a really good player on the interior there for Seattle.
And if I could add, we're going through these guys. The last few of them all have 10 years. Cam has 14 or something.
Yeah.
This is what the Eagles hope Jalen Carter becomes. Somebody who has this type of longevity and this type of effect for a decade or more.
Right.
And that's why you invest in these kinds of guys with those types of picks, because they do play when they're at elite level. They do end up playing for a decade or more on your team.
Yeah, that's for sure. Brett Eclipse, LOL. There are 7 guys on here that 2 of you agree on the exact rankings. Oh, it went away. But there is one person that has them one spot higher or lower. Yeah, sometimes it's funny how these lists work when we're doing them.
It's pretty much just me being one spot lower on everybody.
Yeah, I mean that does seem to be the theme, though, that somebody at least is one spot off. So, all right, let's go, Shane. We'll stick with you with your number 4. Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, well, let's shake up Brett Eclipse's pattern here, because we all have Quinnen Williams number 4. He was 5th in pass rush win rate last year. He is weaker in the run game, but he also just doesn't really have a lot of help on the interior for the Jets. And again, it's just kind of one of those things, like a lot of these guys, it really stinks. You got Derek Brown, Jeffrey Simmons, Quinnen Williams that are just stuck playing for awful franchises. And I'd love to see these guys somewhere that, they had a little bit of help around them, because, what is one of these guys playing next to a Milton Williams? What's that look like? I would love to see them with a little bit more help, but that may not be. And I guess Quinnen Williams has edge rushers around him, just not a lot on the interior.
Yeah, that's for sure. David, thoughts on Quinnen Williams?
Yeah, the guy's a wrecking ball on the early down, still claps the pocket like a top-tier guy. Double teams are standard week in and week out against him, and he still finds a way to dominate through it.
Yeah, I think that's the most kind of impressive, is when a guy is consistently doubled and still just as effective. It's kind of not fair, honestly. All right, David, we'll stick with you for your number 3.
I went Dexter Lawrence. He's not just a gap plugger. He's a backfield regular. His mix of size, agility, raw strength just kind of makes him a unicorn. Not many people block him. They just survive playing against him. He's been dominant, I guess, for 6 seasons now. Has 30 sacks in his career, and perennial Pro Bowler at this point. Probably has a couple All Pros. They might be second team. I can't remember, but yeah, just a rising player who can do it from either side. He can play the nose, he can play left, he can play right. Versatile, just really overall great player.
Yeah. Shane, you had him your number 1.
Yeah, I love Dexter Lawrence. He is a dominating force in the run game, but he's also impactful as a pass rusher from playing nose tackle, from a zero technique. He faced a double team on 64% of his rush snaps last season, which was the highest rate of any player with 200 or more pass rushes since 2018. And he got 9 sacks, which is more than any other player has done with even a 50% double team rate. And he did that despite the fact he missed 5 games due to injury. So in 12 games, he had a better season rushing from nose tackle than anybody has in like the last 8 years playing a full season. I truly think that Dexter Lawrence is the most valuable defensive player in the NFL. I believe that. I think he's so good. I tried to find the pressure stats that I saw at one point during the season. There was a stat about like how many pressures players have from a zero technique, and he was like 4 times the next closest player. I could not track down that exact stat, but it's something crazy like that. Dexter Lawrence is incredible. And again, another one of these guys that's just stuck in a bad franchise. And unfortunately in my division, because I really hate playing against him.
Yeah, no doubt. Shane, we'll go with you in your number 3.
Yes. My number 3 is, let me pull it back up. It's Jalen Carter. And we're all different spots on Jalen Carter. So he's the young gun on the list, and his stats aren't gaudy. He hasn't put up a ton of sacks. His pass rush win rate wasn't really off the charts, but he's the ultimate watch the tape guy. He is incredibly disruptive on the interior. He draws a lot of attention. Frankly, he draws a lot of holds that don't get called. And if NFL guards and centers have to start blocking him without holding, once he starts getting the Chris Jones, the Aaron Donald treatment when it comes to flags flying his way, I think he's going to be unstoppable. But he came in number 3 for me.
Gotcha. David, you had him at number 2.
Yeah, all the flashes finally became just standard play. Last year was a warning shot to the league that he is going to own this spot by next season, in my opinion. He's unblockable in spurts. As you saw in the Rams game, he can take it over whenever he feels the need. Violent hands, all pro ceiling. Philly hit on a generational disruptor here.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's kind of part of the reason is, looking at this upcoming season, I think he takes that step to kind of that top spot for me. So, all right. We only have one guy left. David, Shane, which one of you want to start us off on Chris Jones?
Yeah, Mazzie Smith is... No, I'm just kidding.
Good one.
I'll take him. So Chris Jones, I've got him at 2. Ryan's got him at 2. David's got him at 1. He led the NFL in pass rush win rate. He's truly dominant as a pass rusher on the interior. Good size, good length, good burst, and it all goes with a well-polished, diverse set of pass rush moves. If your flavor of defensive tackle is a guy that's going to get after the passer, you probably prefer him over Dexter Lawrence. And I mean, he's the best interior pass rusher in the league right now.
David?
Yeah, to me, he's the gold standard and has been for a long time. Again, that's the guy you hope Jalen Carter becomes, someone who's been with the same franchise all these years. He's a defensive tackle, an edge rusher, all wrapped into one 6'6" frame. He wrecks protections, destroys game plans. To me, he's still the best DT in football. I think he has 60 sacks in his career, which goes to what Shane said about just his pass rushing chops.
Yeah.
And like Shane said, yet again, he led the NFL in pass rush win rate again. I mean, he's just an amazing overall player.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. Our interior defensive linemen, top 16. If you are unfamiliar with these lists, I believe if you're watching on YouTube, in the description is each episode that we went through from starting at quarterbacks, leading you up to today. There is a show on all positions leading up in between for each of these. So please check them out. Please share them out. Let us know what you guys think. But so yeah, there it is. That's our list. And of course, next week we'll be going to my favorite position, linebackers. So please join us next week as well. But all right, that's our list. But we still want to talk a little bit about, there is a game coming on Thursday versus the Bengals. Any thoughts on what we might see in this first game? Shane, I'll start with you.
Yeah, before we get into that, I just want to mention, off of our list here, 5 of the top 16 off of our list were all drafted in the top 19 picks in 2019. That's got to be the most loaded defensive tackle draft ever. So
wow.
Quinnen Williams, 3 overall, Ed Oliver, number 9, Christian Wilkins, 13, Dexter Lawrence, 17, Jeffrey Simmons, 19. All 5 of those guys in the top 19 picks of that draft.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
That is kind of nuts.
So anyways, I wanted to point that out. I was looking up Simmons' draft position, and then I was like, wait, a lot of these guys were in 2019, so I had to go count them up. But anyways, preseason, you asked, is that what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the Bengals are going to play some starters, which is going to mean the first quarter is probably going to be terrible. But I think I'm mostly excited just to see, some of I want to see some of the competition for that CB2 spot. I mean, I think that's the most important thing that's hanging out there right now. And I mean, safety is certainly there too with Makuba and Brown, but the Eagles just traded for Jacorian Bennett, and maybe that says something about Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. Maybe it just says they're way too deep at defensive tackle and couldn't keep everybody, and they always like to add fast corners. I don't know where to go with that, but I'm excited to see those guys. I went back and watched. I did a film room for Jacorian Bennett in my Patreon today, and I went through a game and a half of his just watching it. If you guys want to check that out, you can go. It's for free in my Patreon. So patreon.com/ontheshane page. Sign in as a free member, and the whole video is there, and I just kind of went through it. But I'm intrigued. They played him in press coverage a lot, and I don't think the Eagles are going to press him a lot, but he looked really good in coverage. He's an abysmal tackler, and really doesn't want to go mix it up in the run game. But when you talk about what the Eagles are going to like to do, what they did a lot last year, playing quarters coverages, it means if you go 3-by-1, that backside corner is on an island with no help. And they were comfortable with both Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay doing that last year. I don't know that they're going to be comfortable doing that this year with Ringo or with Jackson, but maybe they will be with Bennett. So I'm really excited to just kind of see how that shakes out. And also just interested to see Tanner McKee again. I always like getting to watch him play. Hopefully there's enough around him that you can kind of get a good look at him, because I liked what I saw last year.
There you go. David, thoughts on the preseason game versus the Bengals?
Yeah, I agree about being a little surprised that it's even reported that Joe Burrow is going to play a little bit. So that's a little wild. And in contrast, Sirianni says no decision has been made yet on whether he's playing his starters on Thursday night. Translation, they're not. The threes were getting a lot of work with like the one zone scout team at today's practice. So I think that kind of answers that question as well. And as far as Bennett, I'm a big fan. I'm excited. I mean, Shane nailed it on the head. Really good in coverage. Needs improvement against the run. But I would love the combo of having Quinyanamo Bay on one side and Jacorian Benetincieri on the, is that how you say it? On the other side. So we have, yeah, I like that a lot. But quick hits for training camp. I watched Ryan swoon and almost pass out when he got to take a picture with Jihad Campbell. I'm surprised he's made it standing throughout the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But practice was light. It was 75 minutes long. They weren't in pads. It was, kind of one of those easier practices. A few things that stood out just real quick. Moro Ajomo, he got into the backfield so fast one time they had to blow the play dead immediately. It would have been a clean sack. He's been playing with a lot of juice. Hertz and Dotson seem to have a really good rapport so far. They looked really good. It was nice seeing Makuba back in action. He hadn't practiced since day 3 of practice, I think. And he broke up a pass. He looked pretty good. And the most startling thing was Josh Uche trying to cover Devontae Smith, who went about 25 yards for a touchdown where he probably beat him by 5 yards. But yeah, I hope we never see Uche trying to cover a legit wide receiver 1 or 2. But what did you think of practice?
Yeah, that Uche play certainly stands out. Yeah, listen, I certainly remember a play where we were literally just talking about whether or not Jalen Carter was kind of gonna get in there, and sure enough, he got in there and he just instantly glided by Lane Johnson. Now obviously, this is practice, and it didn't look like Lane was putting the whole death grip on him. But man, it's amazing when you see the level of difference in top end talent versus the normal everyday NFL player. It's such a difference. But there were a couple of plays again right after we talked about Ringo and the impact of Bennett. Ringo made a great play on a ball, diving, broke up a pass, almost intercepted it, and then bowled over a referee on the sideline. And then next, 2 plays later, made another really good play where he just absolutely shadowed Dotson, didn't let him out of his sight. So that at least was encouraging to see, and maybe even the simple fact that this trade has on their play moving forward. Iron strike. What do they say?
Iron sharpens
iron, right? So hopefully that is the case. But and then you're right. When you were talking about swooning, I thought you were talking about my girl Devin Caney, but no, the next natural thing would be Jihad Campbell.
I thought he was going to punch the other beat writer who was trying to talk with her.
Yeah, the soccer jersey wearing dude.
And the running backs, they started the day with using depth chart running backs. I didn't even know some of them. And then they brought in Will Shipley, touchdown immediately. They brought in Saquon, touchdown immediately, to kind of just reinforce what you were saying about when they bring in the top talent. My goodness.
Yeah, it was great to see Shipley kind of be included in that, and the clear difference for him. And it was good to see. Speaking of running backs, was up close and personal with AJ Dillon, and Jesus, the tree trunks on that guy. I mean,
it's nuts.
My God, like again, I'm 6'3". I'm a bigger guy, but man, there are certain NFL players that make me look absolutely invisible, and just looking at AJ Dillon made me feel real small. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
I posted that picture of me and Holland Pierce, and
oh,
someone commented that they didn't realize I was in their short club. I was like, I'm 6 foot tall. No,
yeah,
no, Holland Pierce is
Alan
an
Perez is a big,
absolute monster.
he's a big
Yeah,
dude.
he just made me look that short.
Yeah, yeah,
He is an absolute monster.
yeah. Yes, Q. I had an appreciation for Will Shipley. Yes, I know. Shocking. Ryan and a RB2 actually getting along. It's unheard of.
I
Yeah.
used to like there was a picture that went around for a while of I think it was Darren Sproles and Jordan Mailata standing next to each other. And I think there was one point in like a press conference when Darren Sproles was like standing behind Jordan Mailata acting like he was his security. And I remember seeing that video and thinking it was really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cooper DeJean did take some snaps at safety today too.
Yeah.
Which
Sure did.
Which was interesting to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly they like him in that base format. Just, again, he's such a talent. You get him on the field any way you can, even though it's, may not be, a play or a form that they use often. So,
Well, that's all I got.
yep. Same. So,
I didn't get invited, so.
I mean, listen. Anytime
you want to fly in, man,
you come in. Listen, it's been a couple of years since we've done a game, so maybe we can actually have all four of us go to a game one time and meet up.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be something?
That would be fun. I came all the way, and then David didn't show up, but
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe next time.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully we will have Dibes back with us next week. He's just a little bit under the weather, as obviously there's end of summer. There's usually something going around, right? But yeah, we'll be recapping the game, of course, next show, and of course on the Eagles Pin Pull Network. Please make sure you're tuning into pre-halftime and post-game show. That Shane, you and Dibes, and is it Johnny or
I think there's four of us on the post game for this week. I can pull that schedule up real quick. It is me, Dibes, Eric, and David will be live after the game on Thursday night. Dibes and I are planning to do halftime shows this year, but we're not going to do them for preseason, so we'll pick those up week one. But yeah, gotcha. We're back. Post game shows starting with the preseason games. We'll have halftime shows during the regular season too, except for a couple games that are going to be dicey for me. But yeah, I can't wait to watch the first half of that game and then struggle through the second half of the game and then talk about it with everybody live afterwards.
Yeah, that is very accurate. So. Yeah, so make sure you're tuning in to the coverage of the Bengals game here on the Eagles Pin Pull Network, and then of course on the next Birds of the Round Table, where we'll be talking about linebackers, and then of course we'll be recapping the Bengals game and talking about the next game on that following Saturday. So. All right, so that's going to be it for us, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to bring up and discuss and talk and whatever. No? Yeah, good. No, great. All right. All right, David, let the people know what you got going on, where they can find you, and any general information you'd love them to know.
Yeah, you can find everything at PHL Eagle News. I wrote a piece about Jihad Campbell, and I took a whole bunch of notes from training camp, which I'm trying to compile to release tomorrow morning. But you can find it all at Philly Sports Network or PHL Eagle News, whichever way you look.
There you go. And just to add a note to that, Jihad Campbell, dude loves him some short shorts. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So anyway, Shane, same thing for you, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, it's good to be back in the podcasting chair. recorded an episode with Mark today, previewing the AFC and NFC North. Had some takes. We were kind of going through recapping the off seasons, talking about their over under win totals and making some predictions there. So if you want a primer on what to expect in the rest of the NFL, we're halfway done now. We've done the Easts and the Norths. We've got the Souths and the Wests back. So, or left in the next couple of weeks. So go check that out. And like I mentioned earlier, I've got a Jacorian Bennett film room up on the Patreon for free at patreon.com/ontheshane page. Make sure you're following these guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the Eagles Pinpool Network. We're about to have a lot of content coming your way.
Yeah, that's for sure. Make sure not only on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, basically every single place that you can find us, make sure you're following, you're subscribed, you're sharing it, and you're also liking and giving 5-star reviews, because all those little things do add up, and it takes you about 2 seconds to do. So we do appreciate it as always. We will see you guys next week. We'll be talking about the linebackers and the recap of the Bengals. So for everyone here and Eagles Pinpool Network, have yourselves a great night, everybody, and go Birds.